Hello viewers and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. Our MPs in Parliament continue to raise serious issues about the issue of mandatory radio licenses. And there is a great discussion and a great debate happening right there. We need to take a look and understand what Honorable Shakespeare HAMAUSWA said.
So the point is, the people of Zimbabwe, despite their political backgrounds, they also need to be heard. They have raised their concerns that the content must improve. You remember those days when we had the gringos would rush the Mukadotas. And this is where we need to say, if we increase the collection of licenses, this must be reflected in terms of content. This is my contribution, Madam Speaker, ma'am, that without improving on the content, when we have jingles from one political party consuming the airspace and the airtime, then how do you then account for the other 2 million? So, Madam Speaker, ma'am, on that note, there is a suggestion from well-meaning Zimbabweans who are saying this bill is giving a provision which is narrowly focused in terms of collection of licenses. They are focusing on those vehicle licenses. When they say when you are paying your vehicle license, then you pay radio licenses. But they must come up with a comprehensive approach, because they will come today to Parliament. And you all know that when you are making an amendment, you have to go through public hearings. They will come back again and say, we want now to collect TV licenses through maybe the payment of electricity. What is limiting the government to come up with a comprehensive approach in terms of collecting licenses? The idea, it may sound that we proponents of punishing the people, but the ultimate result is that when the tax base is broadened, then definitely the people are going to pay less. Let's say if we have, say, 3 million owners of TV sets in Zimbabwe, we can ask them to pay $1 even per month. And you get 3 million every month, which is enough even for ZBC to be able to purchase, the right to air even Premier Soccer League. And this is what we want to see. Those popular programs being aired through our national broadcaster. So why are we having a narrow focus? We need to look beyond the issues of technology. We need to look into 10 years to come, 5 years to come. We are punishing the vehicle owners. What about other people? You find that currently ZBC TV licenses will go for $100. It's ridiculous. If we sit down with those people who are working at ZBC and in the ministry, they are paid to think. They must go back and bring an amendment that is comprehensive, that will make sure that the people of Zimbabwe will not pay more than $5, because everyone will be paying. But we need to have a social contract. As I said, that we need to agree that we are paying for something that we are going to be happy with. We cannot pay, then at the end of the day, if you ask Madam Speaker, ma'am, very few people watch ZTV. Very few people here. There was a time when we asked each other, how much is it to pay for a radio license? You find that there was only one person who was aware. I'm talking of honorable members. From both sides, only one honorable member was aware that the cost of a radio license is $30. Everyone else was not aware. So it's a sad story, Madam Speaker, ma'am, which needs to be addressed. Then the aspect of foreign ownership. Yes, some will raise concerns that borders on national interest. But I think the essence was to give room for Zimbabweans who are in the diaspora. Zimbabweans who are in the diaspora, they need to participate in the national economy and national development of this country. So there must be a provision or provisions in our national laws that will enable them to participate. And also even including the participation through voting and being voted for. So this is the essence of having that provision. Because if you check on the statistics presented by the Honorable Finance Minister, you will see that we can agree that we are being sustained by remittances coming from the diaspora. Then if we then allow that, I think it's commendable, but what is needed is to make it very clear, saying that those who have concerns with national security issues, they will not raise them again, because they will understand that we have more than 3 million Zimbabweans who are outside, who are sending money every day, every hour, and they are sustaining our economy. So, Madam Speaker, ma'am, this is very important, and we may need to support the bill, but we would want the minister to rethink, and the minister to rethink some of the provisions, which we may see again the minister asking again the parliament to go through public hearings, which is very expensive, and we need to do something that's a law that can last maybe for 20 or so years. And I implore the minister, through you, Madam Speaker, ma'am, to rethink how best they can come up with the issue of licensing. And the most important thing, the people of Zimbabwe said, if this mandatory licensing is going to come, it must be accompanied by reduction of fees, because it will be assured that we are going to have everyone paying. So why should we keep the charges higher, the fees higher, when we can also make, the collection that will sustain ZBC even by paying $5? So this is what is needed. This is what the people of Zimbabwe, including the people from the beautiful constituents of Warren Park, are saying. They are saying the fees must actually go down, since you are saying we are now going for mandatory. I so submit, Madam Speaker, ma'am.
Thank you, Honorable HAMAUSWA. I now call upon the Honorable Minister to adjourn.
These are key issues raised in Parliament by our good Honorable Member, and we need to be honest with each other. If you look at the issues which he raised, they are valid 100%. And we have talked about these issues several times. And we noted the issue of the TV license in Zimbabwe, where it's pegged at $100. Imagine, Kuti, you are supposed to pay $100 TV license fees per year. It's too much. Go to other countries, the money is reasonable. Right here in Zimbabwe is too much. And the honorable member suggested around $5 for TV license, which is reasonable. Imagine if we are to have, for example, in Harare, let's say we have something like 1 million households which are there. Or yes, 1 million households in the urban areas. Then you multiply by 5. That is quite a lot. Then if you put it to say the whole country, let's say we have 5 million users who are paying $5 per year. It's quite reasonable. So this thing which is being done by this government, it's unreasonable, because they don't even think before they act. They simply come with an idea, they rush it, and they impose it onto the people without thinking and looking at the necessary at the effects of whatever proposal which they'll be making. So if you look at the radio licensing, it sits at $10. $10 is too much. I want to be honest with you, it's too much, because we are looking at something where radio ndinogona kuiridza pafoni. Radio ike zvinezvi radio kwane turadio tudiki diki. I'm going to buy that small radio iyoyoyo for $5, then I'm paying radio license for $10. It doesn't make sense. And then we will look at the content which they are producing. You go on to Radio Zimbabwe, they will be talking about ZANU-PF, 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 ZANU-PF. It's about ZANU-PF. You hear Chief Shumba Wenje, you hear all these people who support ZANU-PF. But Cooksman will sing Chamisa Ibiza Rino Donzangoro. You will never hear it on ZBC. Then Chief Shumba Wenja will come and say EDP, and you will hear it several times per day. No, it's 20 ka 30. And you go to the Ministry of Information. Vana Chief Shumba Wenja vanenge vachibhadharwa mari dzichibuda mari kokoko for the jingles dzavanenge vachiproducer nekuburitsa. But you go to people like Vana Cooksman, vari kuimbawo the same about politics for prominent political people. They won't be paid the same. They are not getting anything. So when you look at it, there is no equality in terms of how things are done in the nation of Zimbabwe. These issues, they need to be addressed in all honesty. If this government is truthful and needs to fix things, they should make sure that they fix these things. They can never, ever continue to look sideways and ignore and pretend as if everything is okay or everything is normal. We need a government which is going to look at whatever which is happening and say, let us fix here, let us fix there. Cover everyone. Bring everybody, especially on radio. Bring the opposition people. Bring the ruling party people. Bring them together sometimes so that they can have conversations, they can talk, so that information moves. Imagine on radio, which is more accessible in the rural areas. Imagine if everybody was allowed to go there, tichitaura, tichiudzana no, constitution inoti nekuti, do not be harassed, do not be intimidated by ZANU-PF people. Ivo varipo vanhu vacho ZANU-PF. Imagine such conversations if they were happening. We could have a more better society and a more better community which is well informed and knows. One of the greatest disadvantages which we have in Zimbabwe is that the people in the rural areas, they're made to believe that the government is superior than everyone. The government is untouchable and the politicians are untouchable, which is wrong. So they can only get that information when the opposition is given a chance to be on air, being invited on air, and giving their views, insights, and everything, so that conversations continue. Those are the kind of issues which need to be addressed. So this is it, Team Zimbabwe. This is what the honorable member said. And these are very, very critical issues and very, very important issues. Let us meet in other episodes and other broadcasts.